How can you get your freedom here? Do you think you'll ever get it?
We don't think.
You don't think so?
No.
What about you? Do you think you'll ever have freedom?
No, I don't think so.
The soldiers arrived and surrounded the house where we were filming. We were all frightened. One of the soldiers shouted for the person in charge to come out. I didn't know what to expect, but I had no choice. When I opened the door, the commanding officer ordered me and the crew out of the house. The soldiers took us into custody at gunpoint. They separated us from each other and marched us away from the family that we had come to film. We didn't know where the soldiers were taking us or what they were going to do to us. The voices of those I had interviewed about torture flashed through my mind.
Those detainees who claim that they've been tortured, I believe that.
Stitching up is being used as a form of torture.
In the whip lashes at least that typical mark.
As we entered the police compound, I felt like screaming for help, but I realized we were in the middle of nowhere. The police and soldiers surrounded us and then began to interrogate me. Why were we in the township? Why were we filming a black family? This went on for a couple of hours. Eventually, they said that they would release us because of me being an American. They said they did not want another international incident. Before releasing us, the police took our names and addresses and warned us all to stay out of the townships. Bishop Tutu, how is it that a film crew like ours could be detained? What threat would we pose?
Well, I mean, you've got a government that has become paranoid. They are really scared that people should know the truth. Recently, they deported a Newsweek reporter because they are saying you are the people who are responsible for their ghastly image overseas. I don't know how they think you make up a scene where you have peaceful demonstrators and the police operating brutally against them.
I request of you to leave this area. We are operating here. I was ordered by high command to tell you to leave here, please. Thank you very much. I want your names.
I'm glad, in a sense, you experienced that kind of thing where you are harassed, because you know, in some measure, I think, what happens to a lot of our people. It leaves a bad taste in the mouth to fall in the hands of the South African police. This government does not know how to handle dissent, because South Africa has only a very weak tradition of dissent. They almost always respond with the iron fist. To oppose the system in South Africa is very costly. You can lose your life. People are fond of drawing parallels between what is happening in our country and what happened in the 60s in your country in the civil rights movement. And to some extent, there are similarities, but there is one fundamental difference. The law in the United States was on the side of those campaigning in the civil rights movement. What Martin Luther King and those who were involved with him were doing was to claim rights that were theirs under the Constitution. Here we do not have the support of the Constitution, of the law. The Constitution and the law are against us. And so we have to overturn or dismantle that whole structure. In South Africa, it is not a question of civil rights. It is a question really of fundamental human rights, the recognition that a black person is a human being created in the image of God. The situation in South Africa is violent. And the primary violence in this land is the violence of apartheid. When people seek to oppose the violence of apartheid and to protest non-violently and peacefully, what happens? They are shot dead in front of their children. Their charred bodies are found in burnt-out cars. And almost invariably, their killers are never apprehended. Our people are killed, they're killed as if you're swatting a fly. And with just about the same kind of reaction. No country can afford to bleed as much as ours is doing, where black lives are dirt cheap. 2 people have been killed. Oh, it doesn't really matter. After that funeral, 10 people were shot by the police and killed. Who worries? 25. Who cares? Who really cares? What are they? Blacks?